Welcome back to the channel. So here's the thing. While most people have been distracted chasing the same old crypto hype trains, something massive has been quietly unfolding beneath the surface. The Internet Computer, or ICP, has just done something that most of the market still hasn't caught up to. It surpassed Solana in real-time transaction throughput. That's right, the network is now processing more than 1,000 transactions per second, live, on-chain, while institutional investors are quietly stacking six-figure buy walls, and total staked value has climbed back over the $1 billion mark. It's a wild turn of events for a project many had written off years ago. But if you've been paying attention lately, you can see the momentum shifting. So today, we're diving deep into what's really happening with ICP, why major players seem to be positioning heavily, and what all of this could mean for the next wave of blockchain innovation. Let's get started. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research and consult a professional before making any investment decisions. Now here's what's crazy. As of this week, ICP's live transaction rate is sitting at over 1,100 transactions per second, according to data from ChainSpect. That's not a theoretical capacity number. That's real activity happening in real time. And yes, that figure actually puts it ahead of Solana, the very blockchain that's been dominating headlines for months. And yet, almost no one's talking about it. The wider crypto crowd is still treating ICP like it's stuck in 2021, ignoring the fact that the project has evolved dramatically since then. The infrastructure, staking ecosystem, and developer activity have all matured, but the market sentiment hasn't caught up. To give you an example, a well-known crypto analyst recently noticed a massive 33,000 ICP buy wall forming on exchanges. That's around $120,000 worth of pure buying pressure. And it wasn't random retail speculation. This was accumulation from wallets that clearly know something most traders don't. These kinds of moves are rarely impulsive. They're strategic. Whenever you see institutions or high net worth players quietly absorbing sell pressure while retail traders panic out, that's usually a strong signal that something big is brewing. And here's where things get even more interesting. According to on-chain data highlighted by Zero to Hero, the total staked value of Internet Computer tokens has now climbed back above $1 billion. Think about that. In a market that's been shaken by volatility and fear, capital is still pouring into ICP staking. The Fear and Greed Index is leaning heavily toward greed, while momentum indicators like the RSI are showing bullish divergence on multiple timeframes. Even more notably, there's been a 2% increase in total holdings among wallets containing between 1,000 and 1 million ICP just in Q3 of 2025. That's not retail noise. That's accumulation from serious investors with long-term conviction. Now, here's a detail that separates ICP from so many other altcoins in the space. It has 100% of its total supply already circulating. That means no more future unlocks, no private round tokens waiting to hit the market, and no silent venture funds preparing to dump on retail buyers in a few months. What you see is what you get. In a world filled with endless token emissions, shady unlock schedules, and projects designed to reward insiders, ICP's transparent supply dynamics actually feel refreshing. It's one of the few ecosystems where price action is purely a function of real supply and demand, not artificial inflation or time-based token releases. Now let's talk about why the technology behind ICP is starting to draw fresh attention. Back in August 2025, the team rolled out a major subnet upgrade that doubled the replicated stake capacity to 2 terabytes. If you're not fluent in blockchain engineering terms, that essentially means ICP can now host much larger and more complex applications directly on-chain. No external cloud dependencies, no AWS, no Google Cloud, no middlemen. That's massive. Most so-called decentralized applications today still rely on centralized hosting for their backend, but ICP is building infrastructure that runs entirely on-chain, for real. And when you think about the series of high-profile outages we've seen from Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure, which have temporarily taken down massive portions of the internet, ICP's vision starts to make even more sense. Those centralized breakdowns highlight exactly why the world needs decentralized alternatives, not just as a philosophy, but as a practical necessity. Another development worth highlighting is something that almost feels too futuristic to be real: Caffeine AI. This tool was introduced to make on-chain development accessible to anyone, even people with zero coding experience. You don't have to know Solidity or Rust. You can literally build functional blockchain applications without writing a single line of code. And guess what? Caffeine AI recently entered an official partnership with BNB Chain, signaling that this isn't just some experimental toy. This is serious, production-ready innovation. Lowering the technical barrier means more builders, more creativity, and more diverse applications entering the ecosystem. This is how blockchain adoption actually accelerates, not by forcing average users to adapt to crypto, but by empowering builders to solve real-world problems with crypto. Make it simple, make it affordable, and let innovation take care of itself. All right, let's pivot to something most viewers are curious about: price action. At the moment, ICP is hovering around $3.50, having reclaimed the $2.92 level in late October. During that rebound, trading volume surged by over 20%, while the price consolidated between $2.80 and $2.90, a pattern that typically signals accumulation, not distribution. After testing resistance at $3.15, sellers stepped in, forming a temporary ceiling. Now the market's watching that exact level as the key breakout zone. If ICP can decisively close above $3.15 with solid volume, technical indicators suggest a potential run toward $3.50 or even $4 by the end of Q4. But if it fails to break out, we could see continued sideways action or a dip back toward $2.97 or even $2.80 for a retest. Either way, the structure is tightening and the breakout probability grows with each compression. Zooming out, the competitive landscape is fascinating. Yes, Solana remains a powerhouse with a strong developer base and affordable transaction costs, but ICP offers something Solana doesn't: a full-stack decentralized infrastructure that removes the need for cloud intermediaries altogether. Every time centralized services falter, ICP's narrative strengthens. That's not theoretical. It's a long-term shift in how enterprises and developers view digital sovereignty and reliability. As companies begin to realize how risky vendor lock-in really is, networks like ICP start looking more attractive, not as hype plays, but as infrastructure bets. Currently, Bitcoin dominance sits above 59%, which means the market's capital is still heavily concentrated in safe assets. That environment makes it harder for altcoins to gain traction unless they deliver real innovation or tangible use cases. For ICP, that catalyst could come from expanding subnet activity, wider adoption of Caffeine AI, and growing developer engagement. So yes, the fundamentals are getting stronger. The question is how long it'll take for sentiment to catch up. If you've made it this far into the video, you're clearly not here for surface-level crypto talk. You're someone who wants to understand why certain projects actually matter. And ICP is one of those rare cases where the long-term vision hasn't changed, but the execution has finally started to catch up to it. Let's be real, ICP had one of the rockiest debuts in crypto history. It went from one of the most hyped launches ever to one of the biggest market disappointments in record time. But here's the difference. Most projects that crash that hard never recover. ICP did. The team kept building through the noise. They kept shipping updates, improving scalability, and refining the developer experience. And now, after years of rebuilding trust and credibility, the fundamentals are finally starting to reflect the effort. Everything about this setup: 100% circulating supply, major infrastructure improvements, billion-dollar staking, rising whale accumulation, and real transaction growth paints a picture of a project that's turning a corner. Could ICP one day reach four figures like some analysts predict? Maybe. Could it also fade away if the market doesn't recognize its value soon enough? Sure, that's also possible. The truth is, no one can predict crypto with absolute certainty. But one thing is clear: ICP isn't dead. It's quietly preparing for another run. So, to sum it up, ICP just overtook Solana in live transaction speed, institutional accumulation is ramping up, total staking value crossed $1 billion, and new tech like Caffeine AI could reshape how people build on-chain apps. Combine that with its fixed circulating supply and cloud-free architecture, and you've got one of the most fundamentally unique blockchains in the market right now. The mainstream might still be sleeping on it, but smart money rarely does. Keep your eyes on ICP, because if history repeats itself, this might be the comeback story nobody saw coming. So, what do you think about ICP's current position? Are you bullish on its growth in AI and DeFi? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found value in this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more breakdowns like this. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay cautious, and I'll catch you in the next one.